So that is yet another Premier League draw. 3 games in a row where we have not won, but we've not lost, and we've kept this unbeaten run going. But is this a point gained or 2 points dropped? Well, this is going to be an interesting one. Welcome back to Analysing Arsenal, and these are my thoughts and feelings to the game at the Emirates Stadium on Remembrance Sunday as Arsenal hosted Wolves in a spectacular Super Sunday. And I was watching bits of this game and also reading up on bits of the Arsenal game while watching the Manchester derby. I also was watching Chelsea-Everton earlier today, and as it is my birthday tomorrow, I've been out all weekend, so excuse the voice. The voice is a little bit tender, and it's just been a day of resting, sleeping in between parts, and also watching football. And Arsenal play their final game before the international break at the Emirates against Wolves this afternoon. Now, Arsenal going into this have, well, shall we say, we're not in the best run of form, but, you know, against Palace, we got very fortunate to obtain a point where we should have lost. We should have beaten Liverpool, but I think that was a point gained rather than 2 points dropped. It was a really, really poor night against Sporting in the Europa League, like for sure. And here against Wolves today, it was a chance to go into the international break with a win and to get back into winning ways and get and also kind of close the gap to the top 4, which is something that we need to do with Spurs, Liverpool, and now Manchester City all winning. Chelsea, the only team in the top 4 dropping points this weekend. And you know, when I look back at Arsenal, particularly that Europa League game on Thursday, my frustration at seeing it's just an absolutely awful game. Also, you know, with Danny Welbeck's horrific injury, I think that kind of shadowed the game really. And even though I spoke about that, I was more frustrated just seeing a really, really pathetic game. But, you know, what is positive in one respect for Arsenal at the moment is that we're, you know, even when we're not playing well, you know, the Arsenal of last season under Arsene Wenger would lose those games. You know, they would lose the games that they weren't playing well in, and we're still, you know, digging deep and getting points when we should really be getting points. And today it kind of falls under that bracket. It was a prime example of, you know, Arsenal not playing well, coming up against a very, very strong and good Wolves side that led for large parts of the game. They took the lead on 15 minutes and they led from the 15th minute all the way to the 85th minute. So they held their own at the Emirates for a long, long time. And we kind of got a little bit of salvation, and Mkhitaryan, you know, ultimately coming on and saving us. And in fact, we are the Premier League side, and we've had the most amount of goals scored from substitute players. So we have an act that Unai Emery, you know, can recognise that things are not going our way, brings on a player who steps up and then gets the goal. In this instance, it's Mkhitaryan. When I look at the lineups, I was really, really happy with the lineup. You know, Alex Iwobi coming in for Mkhitaryan, so Mkhitaryan starting on the bench, even though ultimately he came on to score the goal. Iwobi, I think when he has come on, has looked really, really sharp and strong. I think Unai Emery's kind of, you know, moulding him into a really, really top young kind of player. But he started, so you had Aubameyang on the right, Iwobi on the left, Ozil in the middle, Lacazette up top with Torreira and Xhaka, you know, protecting the defence with Mustafi holding Kolasinac, Bellerin and Leno obviously in goal. Now, Wolves are a very, very good side. They haven't had a great run of form recently, but, you know, they have got a good team and they're going to be absolutely, completely safe. And they showed that, you know, they bossed us for large parts of the game. And when you look at the stats of the game, they had 13 shots, 5 on target. We had 10 shots, only 3 shots on target. 72% of possession, but again, I don't think we were very direct in this game. Again, it was more of the passive sideways, not being direct, not really driving. I mean, you know, their goalkeeper today for Wolves, which I completely have just forgotten the name, Rui Patricio, who actually is a very, very good goalkeeper. He did make a couple of really, really good saves, as did Leno. But, you know, the goal that Cavaleiro scored, he was running down the left-hand side, he put the ball in, and then he just kind of curved it, and it went into the right-hand side of the goal. I think when I looked at it, Leno probably should have saved it. It was a chance where he moved on to his right foot, about to move it over to the left, and then just kind of drilled and curved it into the back of the net. But what was really alarming is that they scored on 13 minutes and they could have doubled their lead for many occasions, you know, and they just kind of were comfortable when they were dominating. At the Emirates, you don't really anticipate to see a side boss Arsenal in that way on their own patch, and it was, you know, worrying and alarming. And, you know, going into the second half, it was the same story. You know, we would have a couple of chances, we would have, you know, the majority of the ball, but not really doing anything with it. And it was just really a poor day. Arsenal didn't play well in this game at all. However, Mkhitaryan came on, and from a corner, assisted by Aaron Ramsey, Mkhitaryan got the ball from the corner and then, you know, siphoned it into the back of the net. on the 86th minute, and in the end we couldn't get that second goal, but you know, we held on to obtain a point. Again, a point where we probably didn't deserve it. Now in this instance I would say that this is a point gained rather than 2 points dropped, but then on the other side we should really be beating Wolverhampton Wanderers at home. But then what's so beautiful about the Premier League is that anyone can beat anyone on the day, and there's no easy game. I mean, you know, Chelsea dropped points today against Everton. Spurs almost dropped points against Wolves last weekend, and you can never predict. You can never say, "Oh, this is absolutely a banker." You know, we're definitely 100% going to win this game. You can never tell, and that is why so many people love this league. And you know, I am a little bit concerned that, you know, since getting, when you look at the results that we have faced since kind of beating Blackpool on Halloween, we haven't won a game in November. So, you know, we drew to Liverpool, we have drawn to Sporting. So we beat Blackpool on Halloween, we then drew to Liverpool, we then drew to Sporting, and we've now drawn to Wolves. So a succession run of games of draws, you know, starting with Palace, then Liverpool, then Sporting, now Wolves. 4 games without a win, our last win coming on Halloween, and our last Premier League win coming against Leicester on October 22nd. So it's concerning that we're not having the chance and we're not able to kind of, you know, fashion and get wins when we're not playing well, even though we have done it in this incredible run that we're still unbeaten. We haven't lost a game since August, which is fantastic, but, you know, it's kind of, you know, negative and also a positive. You know, it's a negative and also a positive in that respect, that we're not playing well, but we're still, you know, showing that grit and determination to get a point when we don't really deserve obtaining a point. We go into the international break, we come back and we've got Bournemouth on November 25th. So that is a game where we really do need to get back to winning ways, because you don't want to keep drawing games and keep dropping points. I know Sporting was in the Europa League, which we've already qualified, but, you know, it's been... You kind of can excuse it in a sense because, you know, Crystal Palace was a tough game, a tough away game. You know, we probably didn't deserve to get a point in that game, but we showed resilience and fight to get a point in that respect. Liverpool was a game where, you know, it was a test. Many people thought we were going to get absolutely ripped apart by Liverpool, and we didn't. We held firm, we actually matched them, we went toe-to-toe with them, and ultimately, in the end, we got ourselves a point where we could have easily got ourselves 3 points, and that was a big, big step forward in the eyes of what this Arsenal side are trying to do, particularly what Unai Emery is trying to achieve. And then today's point, again, we didn't play well, but we are still getting out a result, and we're getting a point when, again, we don't really deserve to get that point. So we move into an international break. We're still kind of, you know, in for the top 5. I mean, we're not going to win the Premier League, and I think, you know, Manchester City's win today confirms it. If anybody had the slightest kind of thought and feeling that we potentially could challenge for the Premier League title, we're nowhere near good enough for that point at that moment, or at this moment anyway. We're not going to challenge for the Premier League title. However, we are certainly in the frame for getting into the top 4, and we are still, I mean, we're about 15 games unbeaten now, and that is a really, really good run of form. And, you know, sometimes you're not going to win every single game, and if you don't play well and you still get something out of it, that is a positive. But I am worried, and also it's really, really difficult when many teams come to playing the big boys and they put 2 banks of 4. Everton did it against Chelsea, Wolves did it against us, and we weren't really good going forward ourselves today anyway. It's really hard to break it down, and I think, you know, I've seen Unai Emery kind of playing very kind of aggressive, you know, pinpoint football, and we've lost that in the last couple of weeks. We need to get back to that in order to squeeze through and drive through those difficult moments. But as I said, we go into an international break looking to, you know, continue on this unbeaten run. We then play Bournemouth after the international break. Let's go into that international break and let's kind of, you know, get back to winning ways, essentially. I'm just going to have a quick look as well at the fixtures we've got. So here we've got Bournemouth, and we've then got a Europa League game against Vorskla, and then we've got 2 really big and tough Premier League games. We've got Tottenham Hotspur in the North London derby on December 2nd, and on December 5th we've got Manchester United at Old Trafford. So that is going to be a big test to really see what this Arsenal side have got. You know, we failed against Manchester City and Chelsea, although it was in the early stages, and I've already explained in length as to why we lost those games. We passed against Liverpool. Can we pass against Spurs and Manchester United? But we need to go into those 2 games with 2 wins. We need to get a win either against Bournemouth or against Vorskla. I'm really, really kind of thinking to myself that that Bournemouth game is kind of a must-win to get kind of consistency, get confidence, and go into those big games and see where we are. When we get to Huddersfield on December 8th. It's going to be really interesting to see where we are in the Premier League table, how we've done against the big sides, and exactly where we're aiming to finish in the Premier League season. We're going to get a better indication after we play those two really difficult games. But I'm going to leave Analysing Arsenal there for you guys today. I'll be back with Analysing Arsenal in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, I will be doing an Examining England video, hopefully. And with my birthday tomorrow, I am going to be uploading a birthday special. Stay tuned for that. And the channel update is also on its way as well. So there is plenty of content on its way. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And check out my great content as well. And until next time, I'll speak to you all then. Take care, and I shall see you all later. Take care, and I shall see you all very, very, very soon. Have a good international break, everybody, and see you on November. I completely forgot what month we're at. I will rejoin you for Analysing Arsenal on November 25th. Until then, bye bye.